it's you guys, the live stream. I don't really know. Take care of you guys. What do you want? You want to sit and watch me do dailies? Come on. You're like me, right? We need new. We need the future. Maybe I should play a new game. Most of the games I have, I've already beaten them in my heart, regardless of if I've beaten them on the place, on the difficulty that I wanted to do it, or as long as I wanted to do it. I got an after-sex sandwich. That's pretty much what I'm doing here. I'm eating an after-sex sandwich. I could be smoking, but I'll wait. I get higher after I eat. I had like reverse munchies. I want to eat first. Did I? Some sort of salami, some sort of pepperoni, very spicy. Overlord soul sandwich. Covered with cheese. We have debate today. Debate on our country? No, of course not. Of course not. We'll never do politics about our country, not seriously. This is about the politics of another person's country. We just happen to be funding their war. So people think, oh, this is our responsibility. Why they don't think that about Saudi Arabia and Yemen, I don't know. It's the same thing to me. Probably race, I would guess. It's a racial reason. It might be a religious reason because they're Jewish. This might be an anti-Semitism thing. Whatever that means. All I see is bigotry and hate. And any other classification for bigotry is probably not needed. Bill Maher thinks, I know how to control the flow of the river. Greed. Greed. Every person's greedy. I'll control their greed. I'll control the river. What about hate, Bill? You're picking out emotions of people, trying to corral their worst, the worst demons of their nature. I think you missed the big one. I think you went for your weakness, but not people's weakness. People hate. Hate is actually the strongest force of human nature. Hate. Why are the Israelites and the Palestinians fighting? Why? Why are they fighting? Because they hate each other. They hate each other. It's not a misunderstanding. It's nothing that can be worked out with diplomacy. They fucking hate each other. Let's control their greed. No, bro. You have to control their hate. You have to control their hate. That's what I think, but tell me what you think. So, debate on tax policy? No. On gays in bathrooms? Sometimes, but not today. On how we should spend our resources. Nope. How to fix electoral politics to make it functional in our situation? In our century? No. In our situation? No. Not gonna do that. Maybe we should debate the two-party system. No. How about universal health care? No. Should we debate wages? No. Should we debate unemployment? No. Should we debate COVID? Now, even if you don't have a political leaning, you must be thirsty for a debate on COVID. Nope. Not gonna debate COVID. Everybody knows what happened. So what are we gonna debate? Well, we are going to debate Israel and Palestine. Who won? Who's next? You decide. Finkelstein, I've seen him all over my feed. Destiny, you know him. M. Rabani, don't know him. Benny Morris, don't know him. The old man at the table, I don't know him. I know Finkelstein because he's loud. Let's understand who these people are. Like, I love Charlie Kirk until I realized how he got to OAS. He's very polite and nice. And then I realized, oh, you're Hitler's youth. You're in Hitler's youth club. Oh, not so nice anymore. I don't want to be on your friend anymore. You're tricky. You're tricky. Okay, so M. Rabbani, otherwise known as Muhammad Rabbani. Okay. So he's probably arguing for ideology. It's probably an ideological reason. It has nothing to do with his material conditions or guilt by association or who your daddy was. Might be the best way to say that. Doesn't matter who your daddy was. He's arguing for ideas. Okay. He fought the Soviet Union after it invaded Afghanistan. Oh my God. I was in the Afghanistan war. Really? I was the insurgents. Oh. But before that war, when the Russians were trying to cultivate and civilize Afghanistan, they couldn't do it either. Back then, your daddy's Afghanistan war. Islamic Emirate? I am looking for education. The war. Okay. Rabbani died. Oh, I must have the wrong guy here. Moyen Rabbani. Duh, Google. Stupid. The important Rabbani. Dutch. Wait a second. What is the only colony allowed in Japan for 300 years? It's a Dutch colony. Why Dutch? They're really good at trading. Specialized in the conflict. Like, I know why they're mad. Amman, Jordan. Palestinian American Research Center. Okay. A project director of the Association of the Netherlands Municipalities. Dutch. He's Dutch. What the effing F? A volunteer at the general editor for AI Hawk. Al-Haq. It's a Muslim word. Rabbani is currently a senior fellow at this school. a co-editor of a book, and contributing editor to a magazine. Was born in the Netherlands. Received his BA in history. So you know what really happened. Okay. And international relations. Right. Very important. Otherwise, we'll be at war all the time. Even if we are at war, we still need this. From Tufts University, which is a private school in the Boston area, Massachusetts. Additionally, he received his MA in Contemporary Arab Studies in Georgetown. Contemporary Arab Studies, what's that mean? Current events. In the Muslim world. Okay, so this is a expert. He's gonna know. He's a historian. He's got an MA in Arab Studies, Contemporary Arab Studies. He's gonna know. Chomsky. U.S.-backed Israel policies pursuing end of Palestine. Hezbollah captured the Israeli soldiers. Very irresponsible act that could lead to extreme danger. Extreme danger. Stephen Banal. Baldy, that's what we're gonna call it. And the only one at the table was bald. Oh, Finkelstein, it was Team Baldy. It's Team Baldy versus Team Hair Piece. Or hair, you know. Real hair. Real hair men. Oh. Stephen Banal is Destiny? Okay. Who's Vinnie Morris? This is our fourth member of the debate. Let's learn a little bit about him before we start. Looks like a retiree from Florida. He is also a historian, but a different type of historian, an Israeli historian. Wait, what? What's an Israeli historian? You know the history of Israel. Okay, we need to talk about 6,000-year-old planets. How much history of Israel do you know? Do you know the real history of the Ark and the Garden of Eden and things like that? Because those are historical events that happened on our planet. Everybody knows that. So if you're a historian of Israel, maybe you know of these moments and you can help me place them in time. Or it's just a metaphor, and you're like history. Well, I don't know what you're really learning. He was a professor at the Middle East Studies in Negev, sounds Russian, in a city of Beersheba, Israel. Affiliation, that would be new historians. A term coined to describe himself and other historians. Oh. You're not supposed to come up with your own nickname. Nobody, it's not gonna work. Always I perceive the idea. You guys need to call me the new historians. Nobody's gonna call you that. Your nickname has to be with emergent. You can't just make it up and tell everybody to call you that. I mean, you can. It's not gonna work. The scholars have perceived an ideological shift in Morris's work and a departure from the critical scholarships of the new historians. Morris's works surround the Arab-Israeli conflict, especially the Palestinian one, and has won praise for his criticism of both sides. Oh, okay. There's good and bad people on both sides. Regarding himself as a Zionist. No. I mean, of course, he's an Israeli historian. Do you guys know what Zionism means? I mean, somebody said you were educated to be a Zionist. They might be right. I take this as, well, obviously the Jews should have Israel. But why do I think that? I think because when I was 5, the Christian pastor told me to pray for Israel. I don't know. On its face, it seems very nationalist, doesn't it? I thought we didn't believe in nationalism. I thought we were global liberals. But if you're a Zionist, you believe in Jewish nationalism. Or is it like Tucker? I just think Nazism is German nationalism. There's no difference. I don't know what Nazism is. Isn't Hitler dead? I mean, what do they even believe in? Okay. That's got to be the coyest, nasty question. Putin called it nasty. Tricky and nasty. A Jewish state. Imagine if we called ourselves a Christian state, which we used to when I was young. Or maybe my culture changed. The people around me just don't do that anymore. There are no good Christians in the urban areas. You're not a Christian. You don't even know what the beliefs are. You're a Christian culturally. I like Christmas. I like Easter Bunny. I'm a Christian. Okay. Do you think the Arabs are like that? I'm watching Elite, and one of the families is Muslim. Nadia and Omar's family. And they are not very good Muslims. They're Muslim, but they're not abiding by the precepts. Oh, maybe. Nadia still wears her cloak. Omar is faggy, bartending, in school. I guess boys can be in school. Nadia's the one who's not supposed to be in school. You're not pretty girly, man. So you get your beauty sleep. Zionism initially emerged in Europe as a national revival movement, both in reaction to waves of anti-Semitism and a consequence of Hezbollah. Hakalah, Hashalah, Haskalah, also known as the Jewish Enlightenment. What? Enlightenment like Kant's Enlightenment. We don't even need the Enlightenment. Oh my God, who said that? Peterson. We don't even need the Enlightenment. We need anti-Enlightenment ideas. What are you talking about? Advocates against Jewish reclusiveness, encourage the adoption of prevalent attire. Thought I might look by with some Hokage attire over traditional dress, meaning you gotta wear robes, while also working to diminish the authority of traditional community institutions. This is the problem, right? You're fucking with the state. You're fucking with other institutions. You're using your religion to fuck with other institutions. That's the problem. We're secular. We don't allow people to legislate their morality. I mean, right? 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 Guys? Haskalah promotes rationalism, liberalism, relativism. Guys, leave me alone. You can't judge me in my little society. We're our own little thing. You have no perspective. You could never tell us what's right and wrong. I'll go ahead and just tell you, you're all wrong. No problems in my heart. I don't need a class of moral relativity. But you can never understand them because you don't understand their culture. I don't care. I don't care. What if we all just lived on our own little islands of cultures? No. That's not American. We're multiculturalism. The strongest culture survives. If you got out-cultured by the cultural Marxists, you're an idiot. Read the writing on the wall or get left with the lightning. Got Uchiha on my back and the hate on my shoulder. I'm wearing my clan on my back with the hate on my shoulder. I'm surrounded by these snakes, they behaving like vultures. I know my vengeance is consuming me over and over. Used to have the strongest vision, now I see darkness and heartache, living in the shadow of a brother who should have been Kage. The ones I recognize the least are refusing to disregard me. I want to sever my bonds, so tell me, why won't you discard me? Exhorted and implemented communal, educational, and cultural reforms in both public and private spheres. Owing it to its dual policy, it collided both with the traditional elite, who attempted to preserve their old values, and with the radical assimilationists, who wished to eliminate or minimize the existence of Jews as a defined collective. The radical assimilationists. We're just like you. And why are you drawing lines? It's religious lines. Yeah, that gets you off the hook. That gets you off the hook for sure, but the recent religions like Scientology or Mormonism make me think that you're just playing a game with groupthink. You're just playing a game with cult-like behavior. You're just playing a game with personality. People just like him. They just like the leader. I don't know much about this. Jewish Enlightenment. We'll keep that in the back pocket, though. That's something to remember. Zionism. Well, I'm just not so sure about that. I mean, they give it to you in the first 4 words. Zionism is a nationalist movement. I thought we hated nationalism. I thought we wanted internationalism. Globalism, cooperation, trade, international law, alliances. Well, we want nationalists. We want Jewish nationalists. What? That's what this is. They just mean like we have a right to not be Holocausted. No, they mean we have a right to this land, and any fucking Muslim who thinks differently can fucking go get an army and prove it and tell me what's up. Tell me what's going on. That's what they mean. This happens in Crusader Kings. My holy site, incidentally, is your holy site. Uh-oh. Now we have to fight over who has control of the holy site. Doesn't really matter what the religion is. A movement that emerged in the 19th century enabling the establishment of the homeland for the Jewish people in, well, you guessed it, Palestine. We just gave their country away to the Jews. That's what we did. You can't do that. We did it. We did it after World War II. We just said, hey, you can have your country back. But they're Muslim. They owned it. Well, you know, they can go to the West Bank and make a little camp. I mean, there's nothing there anyway. We just moved them. So what? No, there's a lot in the Holy Land. There's like a temple of Suleiman and some tablets. Sure, there's lots of religious things there. It's all in the Vatican now. No, it's not all of the Vatican. Zionism initially emerged in Europe as a national revival, a national awakening, a period of ethnic self-consciousness that often precedes a political movement for national liberation. What are we liberating ourselves from? Those other the colonists. The people colonizing us. You mean the king? No. You mean the emperor? We're liberating ourselves from the emperor? No. We're liberating ourselves from the English and the French and the Dutch. It's like we're liberating their women, right? It's like a liberation for women. No, it's not. That's not what they're doing. How come no one ever thought to liberate the women until 5 minutes ago? Sex. It's the only reason. If I control the women, I control who they're having sex with, which means I control their population growth. If they're fucking whoever they want, whenever they want, without babies, I'm not in control anymore. We can control their minds. Don't worry about it. We'll control their minds. Fucking clown car. We'll control their minds. You fool. Okay, I got caught up on Israeli historian, Zionist. I embark upon the research not out of ideological commitment or political interest. I simply want to know what happened. This is I'm seeking knowledge for knowledge's sake, not to use it against somebody or for some political or religious ideological reason. I just want to know the truth. Just tell me the truth. You can't handle the truth, Benny. There ain't no thing they can do to stop us. I am the epicenter. Stand my ground and don't surrender. Jewish immigrants to the United Kingdom. Well, we found one. I'm just kidding. That's a joke. I'm not the one making lists of who people's race is. That's not me. But there are people doing that. Who are they? You tell me. Who are the people making lists about what your race is? Go ask your government 3 questions that you have to answer before you get a job. Disability, veteran status, my race. What the fuck is my race? What does that matter? Well, it matters to Nazis. But I guess our government's infiltrated by communists, right? or whatever. Grew up in the heart of a left-wing pioneering atmosphere. Hippie. Served in the Lebanon War. The IDF. Israeli Defense Force. They're militarists. You have to be. Regardless, they're militarists. Do you think they want to conquer all the Middle East? I think they want to ethically cleanse the Palestinians. What evidence do you have for such a claim? That's all politics. If you're being honest and that fucks with our propaganda, then you're due for a flak. You're due for a flak attack. Truth or falsehood doesn't matter. What matters is, are you on our side? Are you following the narrative? Are you giving people bad ideas, weird ideas, ideas of dissent? It's like they're playing points. Well, I was for this Israeli war, but I was not for this Israeli war. Left wing because he supports the two-state solution, but he believes his generation will not see any peace. He said, I don't see the suicide bombing as isolated incidents. They express a deep will of all the Palestinian people. That is what the majority of the Palestinians want. Wow. They want to be jihadists. That's what it just said. Well, it's at least suicide bombings. I don't know about your books or your sit-ins, but if you're suicide bombing, that's pretty close to, I mean, my God, that's terrorism. On the subject of people, the Palestinian Society sins to carry out the terrorist attacks. He calls them serial killers. Oh, your hands aren't red, but your soul is stained. The people, the Palestinian Society sins. Meaning they're not doing it, they're sending their kids to go do it. Or whoever, the elderly, or whoever. And the barbarians who want to take our lives, they're barbarians. They're barbarians. They're barbarians, they're serial killers, they're terrorists, and they support terrorists. And they all do. They all do. Just like Hezbollah, right? It's just like Hamas. No, it's all the Palestinians have their deep will is jihadism. That's because of the material conditions. If we just got the McDonald's and good paying jobs and democracy and education and liberated their women and got them Christian leaders. I'm afraid they're gonna still believe in Islam. I don't think you. I mean, we're not really talking about religion anymore. But when I learned, when I'm going through the Middle Eastern wars, and I'm going through the four men of the apocalypse, and I'm going through creationism versus Darwinism, and I'm going through. Well, why do they hate us? They hate us for our freedom? I'm having some sort of political synthesis on how I feel about this issue, and well, I think the Muslims do want to spread their faith with the sword. That's what Muhammad told them to do. to bring about the caliphate. That's what they believe. Do they all believe that? Well, enough of them do. The people in charge seem to, or they're justifying their behavior that way. So the Jews are in the right. I didn't say that. I'm just saying the Muslims do want to. They maybe Morris is right. I mean, we went out of our way to not say this for decades. Bill Maher lost his show over it. Being too nice to the terrorists. Or no, I guess that's in the other way, huh? He's venerating them. Who got in trouble for not admitting that the terrorists are Islamic or whatever, however you want to put it? He called them serial killers and barbarians. So, you know, I'm trying to call them by what they want, by what they call themselves. I'm being polite. David Fromm. I mean, I'm calling them by the name that they want to be called. That's polite. They're Islamic. Morris called the Israeli Arabs a time bomb, claiming that their side into complete Palestination has made them an emissary of the enemy that is among us. They are political fifth. They are the political fifth column. Fifth column? What are the four columns? I don't know. This isn't like the 5 pillars of Islam, is it? On the side of the potential expulsion of the Israeli Arabs, he stated that in the present circumstances, it is neither moral nor realistic. The world won't allow it. The Arabs would not allow it. It would destroy the Jewish society from the inside. But I'm ready to tell you that in other circumstances, apocalyptic ones, which are liable to realize themselves in 5 or 10 years, I can see them forced deporting them. Tag and throw them out over the wall. Tag them and throw them over the wall. If we find ourselves with atomic weapons around us, or if there is a general Arab attack on us, and a situation of warfare on the front, with Arabs in the rear shooting at convoys on their way to the front, acts of expulsion will be entirely reasonable. They even may be essential. He's a Zionist. I mean, he's going to be on the pro-Israeli side. Can you feel it? But he's fair, I guess. That's what they're saying. He sees the Jewish as the greater victims. How do you even know? I'm a historian. How do you know how many people? Are you counting bodies? Are you counting years of oppression? What are you counting? Are you counting body count? Like they have more people than us, thus we're the victims. So that would be very easy to do. I do that all the time. I'm surrounded by women. I'm like a victim. Why? Because they're just gonna fucking treat me differently. How do you know that? Well, there's just more of them than there are of my type. So it feels like I'm being victimized, but they're not really doing anything. There's a lot of ways to be a victim. I'm listening to Peterson talk about an ideology of oppressor and oppress. And I'm thinking, well, that's just the history. That's every event in all time. I thought the goal of Western civil liberal democracy was to equalize and make fair more of the world than it was in the past. But oppressor and oppressed, I mean, It's everywhere. I see it everywhere, anyway. Maybe that's my problem. I think that's what he's trying to counsel me out of. I had some incredible back pops just now. Like, incredible back pops. Finkelstein. Morris has also been criticized by Finkelstein. Well, we're going to see. Better knuckle up quick for the real OT at large. Bow to the man in charge. They argue that Morris's conclusion has a pro-Israel bias. Well, I picked that up in 5 minutes of reading his Wikipedia page. In that he has not fully acknowledged that his work rests largely on selectively released Israeli documentation, while the most sensitive documentation remains closed to the researchers, and has more broadly treated the evidence in Israeli documents in an uncritical way, and not taken into account that they are, in times, apologetic. That was just relevant because Finkelstein's here. He showed up. They're going to debate this in person. And who's the host? Well, you know him. No need to name drop. This is going to be interesting. This is the debate we needed. This is the debate we deserved. Let's see. You created Darius. Okay. We're gonna get a little personal. We're gonna get a little anonymous here. Lex, your eyes drooping a little bit, man. Why? Why would you not call like corners or break or take 5 or get a drink or this is getting personal. This isn't about Israel anymore. This isn't about Palestine anymore. Why wouldn't you have a referee? That seems like a terrible idea. But I guess we're gonna see. Okay. It's fun to watch. Biting wit. This is the thing we're losing because we're censoring, right? He's trying to say, I'm bringing culture back. I'm not censoring them, so we have biting wit in there again. What happened in 48? Because he's going to tell us. United Nations partition plan, proposed Jewish state, proposed Arab state, and the International Administration of Jerusalem. Arab armies were like, no. Israeli counterattacked and gained territory and then a ceasefire, and that's where the lines were drawn. That's what they're going to say. First map is what we asked for. Second map was what the Arabs demanded, and then the third map is after a counterattack when we ended the war. That's where the lines were drawn. What's up, babe?
Where did they go?
What?
My clothes.
They're behind you. I picked them up.
Everywhere.
Look on the cat's
drawer, stand, shelf. Hey, baby. You wanna lay in bed all naked all day?
Probably.
Good.
I didn't think you'd answer with yes.
Am I being too loud? Your clothes are right over there if you want them. I have my camera on though, so be careful with what you bring in front of my camera. Here we go. There's bruises on your tits. Baby. Baby. Your bruises on your tits.
You.
From kissing. God damn, my back is crazy. Okay. 2-on-2. Debate is very hard, just in general. It's very, the format of how you should do a debate, I really don't know. I don't have ideas on how it should go. New is interesting to me, and old is bad. Usually the old way of doing debate sucks. So when people have new ideas on how they could do it, an open forum 2-on-2, maybe this will be interesting. They're both experts. We're doing Israeli-Palestine today. Cool graphic. Jewish held, Jewish state according to the UN, Arab state according to the UN, Arab state borders according to the UN partition, I didn't even see that line. Lines according to the 49 armistice agreement. This is the war ended and we stopped fighting and we just kept the land we rewarded each other with the land that we won. It's how they frame it today. Crazy. Villages raised in accordance with the partition, but you're raising the villages, meaning they're destroying your town. Additional villages destroyed in 48 and 67 by Israel. But the villages are going to be Arab villages. I was making a joke. They're backwards people in Sandland. They don't have anything. Well, apparently they had villages, lots of them. Every single dot on the map is a village that they destroyed. It was Arab. That's what the map is trying to tell you, I think. That's how I'm interpreting it. Every dot on the map is an Arab village that was destroyed by a Jewish person. Or people. How do you read this? I'm looking for that. Oh. The Arab state borders, according to the UN, I think that's just bordering the darkened area. I think that's what's going on. So it's hard to see. Or it might be my glasses. I'm going half blind here. Yeah, that's what's happening. The inciting incident 48. That's where we need to start. So in 867, the Viking prince came to Russia. We established the first Russian. What are you doing? We're going back. We gotta go back to get context. So you can understand why we're fighting wars. Who fucking started this shit? That's what we gotta learn. Well, it was thousands of years ago, so nobody really knows. Well, in 48, let's forget all that. At 48 is when things really started to get unstable. Lex is sitting there moderating. He said, we don't need a moderator. You're right there. You're right there. You're just not calling fat. You're letting them play. You're letting the boys play. But you're moderating. It was an immoral choice. Question of Lent? Lending land? Money? Cut to them taking notes. Write that down. Write that down. They're obviously coming up with what they're gonna say in retort. But this is 5 hours, guys. So you know, they're ready to go. Stellaris. Civil. Equality. I don't know the difference between political rights and civil rights. And maybe political rights are I'm a communist, and that's not exactly my civil right, but it is my political right to be a neo-Nazi or some crazy fucking Klan member or whatever. It's my political right to be, but it's not really a civil right. Maybe that's what a political right. I'm not sure what political rights are. It has to be like the right to create a new party, the right to pick my own leader. I think those are political rights. But those also kind of feel like civil rights, so I don't know. There's basically one option, and it's what they're doing right now. The other one is tolerance. Was it PBD who said tolerance of the intolerable is not tolerated? So they used to say in my church. I think it's great. It's a crazy thing to say. Baby. You want one? Just my sandwich is cut out. You want a smaller one? Being slow is one thing. Being monotone is another. He's putting me to sleep. Thank you, Ben. He's reading. That's why. He has a book. He brought some books with him to read. Old man shit.
Live
Yeah. It's no big deal though, nobody watches. I want to record some, but I think it might be too loud, but I might try anyway. Maybe this morning I'd like to record a chapter with you here and then edit it, and do you like that? I also wouldn't mind doing some like late night content. if you wanted to play games with me or help me figure out um, other more adult platforms, things like that. For sure. You're so cute. Hold on, the Soviets, wait, what? The Hitler? I miss so much. It's Hitler, Soviets, what did we miss? I guess he's quoting somebody from the Soviet Union because he's on the left. I think that's the only. Why are you bringing up this guy? I think it's because he's on the left. Or socialist or something. Zionists are going to be nationalists. Soviets are going to be socialists. Or communists, maybe. These words don't mean anything anymore. We need new words. We need new philosophers to give us. We need new political scientists to give us new political words. Or a philosopher to just do everything. That's fine too. That's hard. I was like, what makes a victim in this context? Well, it was the one where there are just more women in the room than me, so I feel like I'm outnumbered here and thus in an oppressed situation or a victim-like situation because they can all gang up on me. That's not really actually that's all in my head. That's all in my head until they actually do it. But in this case, it is. No, I'm just surrounded by Arabs, so I don't feel like we're Jewish enough. We need a majority of Jews to be a Jewish state. Guys, this is called ethno-nationalism. I thought that's what the Nazis were.
snow? Stop. It's not that bad.
It was snowing all night again, but just like always, then it melts and it's all fine. It doesn't really freeze. I don't know why. It just kind of melts and goes away, and then it snows again. Whoops, fuck me. Exceptional. Fucking just got bingo sign all day. Gave the mic to Bingo Stein to go first, never gave it back. Mm-hmm. Can you put this at the top of my refrigerator when you get up? Quality. Quality. Are you up?
For at least half an hour.
Take your shirt off and lay back down. Baby. Meowie, leave her alone. Meowie. Just gonna lay with you. My two pussies in the bed. Well, you can get the Torah out and find out what the meaning of existence is. So our shelter, get a job, you bum. I guess no one will hire you. Is that what's going on? Damn, that must suck. It's like you're cut off from access to the world. My girlfriend's gonna think all this crazy She's gonna wake up in the middle of me talking. Says something about the Jews. I don't like those ninjas curse and say we're babies. Now this is interesting. I don't understand it. He's taking a little long to say it, but people. If the people can't get along, if there is no integration, assimilation, integration, they were lying. The Jews lied. Because there is no state until we make one? Is that what he's saying? I have to expand to Palestine because we don't have any territory yet. Texas or Russia. Okay, comrades, let's all use our first names here. Nobody's above anybody else, okay? We're all comrades. Why are we picking on them so much? Why is everybody picking on the Jews so much? They're racist? They're racist? Eradicating. Eradicating what? The emergence of a state. A Jewish state. Oh. It's a big word. It's like when Trump says they're poisoning the blood of our country. Oh. They're poisoning the blood of our country. Oh. They're eradicating the government. Oh. See how... Listen to the words they use. The reason the Palestinians don't have a state today is because they never made a state. They didn't have one before 48. We fought and built one. They never had one. That's why they don't have one. Okay. Refugee problem. They're refugees because they don't have a state. They don't have a state. They have no state, so they're refugees. Motherfucker. Holy fucking shit. Are you following this? The Jews came in, established a state. The Arabs, the local Arabs attacked them. The second stage is the surrounding Muslim countries attacked them. Like the saying, the Jews won that war. And Benny over here saying, after we won, there was a huge refugee problem with Palestinians. Where do we put them? Let's put them in the Gaza Strip. You know, like a camp. Like a nice little camp for them to, you know, go on the beach. Try to make this quick. This fuck, I'm starting to fall asleep too. We're getting rid of them. As Putin says, we're getting rid of them. How are you gonna do that? I think what distinguishes Zionism is its insistent supremacy and exclusivity. Okay. Jewish political supremacy, Jewish demographic supremacy, and Jewish territorial supremacy. And if we didn't have that, we just have a name, Jew. These are the things that make us what we are. Our supremacy, our political supremacy, our demographic supremacy, that means race, and territorial supremacy. I own the land. Keep writing, Destiny. Turn that in after class. Damn. 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 Wow. If the Palestinians are barbarians for what they did to you Jewish people, then technically the barbarians of the last century were European to the core. Good thing we're free in our country. We don't have to deal with anything like this. How come? How come they didn't let him in? They're just mean. How come Germany should have helped because they were sorry? already some juice there. Weren't there. Did I miss while shaving this morning? What the fuck was your beard? What, did you pull a patch off of it? Oof. If I ever get a patch like that and I can't see it, tell me. Oh my god. Cleansing them from the land. Oh, not from like existence, just out of the land. Just cleanse them from the land. Oh.
What? You got it. So it's totally legit. We buy their land from them and then they bitch about it. Like, what the fuck is your problem? We bought it from you.
What's the difference? No difference. It shouldn't have land. How much land? None. We had to steal their land with war because they did it first. They won't do diplomacy with us, so we have to invade them and take their land. Or occupy it, or settle it, or displace the locals, or reintegrate, or assimilate, or take over, or whatever they're doing. We had to. Damn. But this is not just the Arabs. Baldy over here made the point that, well, a fucking 100 years ago, the barbarians and the savages that hated you Jews were European to the core. They did not want Jews in their state either.
This isn't particular to this moment. This is everybody doesn't want you to be in their state, doesn't want you to have a state. Except for a few people, and I'm trying to figure out who those people are. I feel the alarm bells are ringing in me. I can touch, but I know you don't feel a thing. I can pray, but I know you commit a sin. I can see, yeah, it's all become clear to me. You're no good, and you mean no good treacherously. I feel bad turning off our alarm clock. Maybe I needed to go to work. What happened? Well, I thought you should sleep in. So I turned it off. You're a good boyfriend. I'm taking care of you. You obviously need more sleep. I think that's it. Probably points. The brunette is impressed, believe me. Comrades. Oh yeah? Really? Damn. They're refugees. Why are they refugees? Because our government doesn't allow them to be in their country, on their land anymore. So they're refugees. Where are they gonna go? I don't care. Who cares? Get them out. Who cares? They don't have rights, that's for sure. And they don't have land, and they don't have money, and they can't even speak our language. And I hate their music, and their culture, and their food. And I wish they'd get out of here. And also, like, a ton of other things I'm not gonna say. It's called racist. If it's not clear what I'm doing here. Transfer. Population transfer. Population transfer. It's gotta be.
Transfer.
They're stealing our land. Why do we hate them? They're stealing our land. This is our land. We're taking it.
There were a lot of nice Native Americans. Really nice to the whites. Real inclusive and embracing diversity and ethnic cultures foreign to their own and interbreeding and trade. They like to buy guns from the English. But then there were other Native Americans who were like, they want manifest destiny, guys. This is Who's the villain in Pocahontas? He was right. He was right. Chief Sitting Bull or something. He was right. Pocahontas, don't go sleep with Smith. It's like a personal assassination. Like, he's attacking his work, but like, let him speak. it was purchase. It was purchased until the war, and then it was all just spoils. They're taking our land, guys. Whatever. They're taking our land. They're probably tricking us. It's a trick. Listen very closely. Transfer. If you like an inevitability in Zionist ideology, buying and settling it, the land that we bought, that other people own, or had. We would never do it because there would have been a minority of people who would have stopped them. They would have said, no, this is immoral. Wow.
the Arabs stayed and were disloyal to the Jewish state, this would cause endless disturbances and warfare. Oh. Oh my God. I better figure out loyalty super quick. Super quick. Super, super, super quick. Oh my God. But are you really loyal? Yes. But really though? Yes. They know I'm not. They know I don't know. I'm not certain. I don't know. You mean betrayal? You mean traitor? You mean like dissident? You mean like protester? I'm disloyal, but I'm protesting. I'm just a little bit of protesting.
That's okay, right? Transfer and partition. It's what the fuck are they talking about? Homie said there's 2/3 Arab, 1/3 Jew in the territory, and we're going to partition and transfer it up. We're gonna partition it up and transfer those people out and put them in their partitioned territories. That's called population migration. That's called resettlement. That's called I built you a little zone for you to go hang out in and live and work and be. Fucking Christ in heaven.
But the British, it was their idea. No kidding. No fucking kidding.
This makes sense. The British say so. I mean, the British said so. It makes sense. Partition and transfer. Great words. Finkelstein's laughing at you. He thinks that's hilarious. Like, how could you even say that? I have no idea. I don't know. Lex is
framing his point in a sentence or two to make it clear for us, which means he understands that this is either commonly understood or a little controversial. But either way, it's worth noting. 47, it was an offensive war by the Arabs. True. There was no top-down policy of expulsion. I think it was said last. Okay.